Welcome to Girls on Fire.
Let's do it.
Action. It's like live from Franklin, Tennessee. It's Girls on Fire.
This is how. Okay, this is starting. This is how it's starting today. Okay. We have Kennedy Krieg in the building with us today. Kennedy, welcome to Girls on Fire on this side of things.
On this side, it's an honor and a privilege. Is this episode 20?
Your
No.
guess is as good as mine.
No, sorry, I'll crop that. Yes, I've been doing these for a year now, and I'm finally on the other side. So it's an honor and a privilege to be here, ladies.
Wait, 20 might be right because we started either August or September.
Yeah, 20 is my lucky number because it just is meant to be.
It is.
Lucky number 20 then. Well, yay, I'm so excited that you're here. Kennedy, if nobody out there knows who you are, which I feel like everybody knows who you are if you came to our shows or anything like that, but tell them what you do here. What are you doing at MD Publishing?
Okay, hi guys, my name is Kennedy. I'm the digital marketing manager at MD Publishing and MedWrench. I've been here, it'll be 7 years in April. Isn't that wild?
That's
7 years.
wild.
7 years. But I've been in the company since I was 1 year old. So, because as my father is John Krieg. So I've been here. I live in Franklin, Tennessee, and I love all things digital marketing.
Yay! We're going to talk so much about that today, which I'm excited to go into social media and why it's important for a young professional in their career to be a part of it. But first, we are going to start with our moments of joy. And Kennedy gets to go first because she's our guest today, and then Kristen and me because I don't have one yet. So go ahead, Brian.
It's just really an honor to be here. I have two. My sweet one is that I've become a service group leader at my church. So I've been doing a lot of fun projects. We have a group of about 30 or 40. And then later this month, we're going to have like a whole serve week. So I've been invited to lead a project to paint a middle school. So I know it's teaching. I know. So it's their teachers appreciation day. So one Saturday, we're going to paint like the whole school and pack like little teacher goodie bags. So they come in on Monday and it's like fresh.
Oh, that's cute.
So that's my sweet one. And then my silly one is that I got an electric toothbrush and it's really just changed the game.
Okay, I went to the dentist last week and she like,
oh my God,
my teeth are always perfect, I'm just going to say. But the dental hygienist did say something about like some plaque buildup.
Oh.
And I was like, wait. She was like, get an electric toothbrush. I was like, okay.
Well, I was too aggressive with my brushing abilities. And she was like, you use an electric toothbrush. I was like, no, I don't. But the best part about it is you just hold it and it just does the work for you.
Okay, what brand are you using?
I like the Oral-B one because it
sponsor us. Just kidding.
The Oral-B one, but I think there's some great ones out there. But just talk to your local dentist.
My dentist tries to always tell me, again, Kristen, great teeth, no cavities friend over here as well. It's something in the
cavity group.
I've had one.
Oh, boo.
I'm 27. Cut me some slack.
Listen, it's okay. 1 out of 27 years is good odds there for you. But my dentist always tells me that I really should do a water pick. Even though I floss every day, she said like water picks are life-changing. Do you guys have one of those?
No, it freaks me out because now we're about to go off rails, but the new cleaning procedure is like high pressure water at the bougie dentist, and I don't like that feeling.
Oh, is it hurt?
No, it's just like weird. It's just like high pressure.
It gives me chills.
Yeah, and I literally looked at her. I was like, "Can we go back to the scraping and like the weird stuff? Like, I don't like this."
Yeah, they go ham these days.
They do go ham. Sorry. Anyway, silly moment.
Yours.
Ooh. My moment of joy. My dad last minute decided to visit this weekend. He literally called me as we were getting in the Uber in Orlando for ICE, and he's like, "What are you doing this weekend?" I'm like, I'm in Orlando. Like, give me a minute. And he just came to visit, and it was such a good weekend. I feel like I always talk about family and stuff for my moments of joy, but that's
big family girl.
That's important. So we just had such a good weekend, even though I was exhausted from our conference. It was nice to see him. So that's mine.
That's good. Okay, my moment of joy was this past Friday. Our nice boss, John Krieg, gave us a day off, which was amazing. And I had like a Megan day where I just like went and did all the things that I wanted to do. Like I wanted to go to Sephora. I wanted to walk around Target. Like nobody asking me what I needed to do or how to do anything, like just whatever I wanted to do. So that was just nice to just have one of those days where you can just like do the fun things that, you want.
I want to run a poll, and we can maybe put something in the bio. I want to see how many men go to Target on a daily basis.
Ooh.
This came up last week,
question.
and they're like, one of the guys was like, I haven't been in months. I just go for like paper towels. And then I'm like, if I can have a full day to just walk through Target with no lists, that's the best day ever. So I'd like to see the girl to guy ratio about Target.
My bank account would disagree.
No.
My mental health agrees. Because I'm like, ooh, do I need a new cute pajama set? There's 15 of them. Let me just pick 3. Like,
and they're like $10, $15. So you're like, wow, amazing deal. But it adds up.
I was going to say 10, 15 when you get 30 things. I'm like,
yeah,
not good.
No, and honestly, Target used to be like my number one, but now, which is even more expensive sometimes, is like I just like to like walk around Sephora and like speak to what I want to get. And
Walk around Sephora.
You can't do that, Megan.
Do that. It's actually really bad for you because then you're like $100+ dollars.
After like 2 items.
I was going to say I went to Ulta on Friday and got 3 things, $100.
No.
3.
But it's so fun.
Right.
Wait, was that me dinging or you?
Can I do
both of us.
Can I do the Ding John Krieg thing of how many times the emails go off?
I thought I exited out of mine, but maybe I didn't. Whoops.
That was one of my favorites to edit, actually, was how many emails can I count? I think we had like 12.
Yeah.
I think it was a G chat from Jamie. Tell her to stop.
Oh, actually, before we get into it, I wanted to say Jamie was having a sales call today, and she was trying to sell Girls on Fire, like sell like sponsorships for it.
Guys,
anyone out there is listening and you want to sponsor Girls on Fire, we're available.
Okay, well, hold on now.
She's high demand.
Available is not, we are in demand, not available.
You're right, Kristen.
You would be lucky to snatch us up.
What does the sponsorship include?
Well, Kennedy, I don't know. We didn't get that far, so get back to me on that one.
Like, is it just like their logo on anything? Do they get like, is it like a podcast? Like when they're like, this podcast is brought to you by blah, blah, blah.
I would love to do that. This week's episode is brought to you by.
I have a question for you guys. Have you ever done one of their like discount codes off a podcast?
Yes, I have, because I listen to podcasts all the time because I have a commute, so I always hear the stuff they're promoting.
I did it for a bed jet. Have you heard of those?
That.
I'm
about to change your life. I can't afford one. It's like $500. But if you use it every single day, girl math, it's basically free. It's a jet that you put at the foot of your bed, and it can blow hot and cold air. Yeah.
Did you find that on a podcast?
Jake Shane, of course.
Jake Shane, of course.
And my friend has one, and it's like, he always says, like, when he gets out of the shower, he crawls in bed and turns it on, and it's hot air that blows on you. And then, but when you get hot in the middle of the night, you put the cold on.
Ooh.
And it's air or water?
It's air. So it like blows, but it's not like,
well, she said jet.
It's like
I'm thinking she's like in a water bed.
No, it's like a soft like airflow. It's nothing like crazy. Like your toes aren't gonna get frozen in the middle of the night, but it's perfect.
That's good.
Anyway,
well, let's get into our hot topic.
Hot topic. Hot topic. Kennedy Krieg.
God, what an honor and a pleasure.
Okay.
Kennedy, you kind of talked a little bit about how you got started here and that sort of thing, but I want you to talk about what you did before MD Publishing and that kind of led you to wanting to maybe do this role in social media.
Yeah, so like I said, my dad had started this company when I was 1. He would cold call around Barney time, and for all of middle and high school, I was like, I don't want to end up in the company. 1, I didn't really know what he did, but I just grown up around this, and I was like, I want to be my own person. But then I needed a college job, so I did MedWrench data entry at the pizza shop every Sunday. And I would just sit there and upload ultrasounds and ventilators, and it was like the best little gig. So that's how I started meeting people here. And then as we know, I love people. So my degree at Mizzou was human development and family studies. So I didn't know if that was more kids, more family. I just kind of did a broad thing to work with people. And I ended up in Nashville after college, and I was a preschool teacher at a Christian school here and loved it, but sadly could not grow in that field. I was capped at $13 an hour. I went to my director. I said, do I go to grad school? What's the next step? She was like, the 2 leadership roles already taken, and I kind of needed to start over. That's when I went to John Krieg and said, what do you think a good transition would be? And he had a part-time social media job open up here, so that he turned into a full-time job. And weirdly enough, he thought I was really good at social media because I was like young and cool. And I was like, okay, thank you.
You know how to unlock an iPhone? Hired.
Download an app? Done.
He's like, how do I share my screen? You can show me that?
I
You're in.
remember my first week here, he pulled me and Carly in for a meeting. And this was when I was still kind of like freaking out. I was wearing like slacks to the first week of work here because I had gone from preschool to business. I was like, you wear slacks? Of course you do. And like sweater cardigans. And he pulled Carly and I in the office and he was like, so the Spotify, what is it? Because and Carly and I for an hour, and I was like, this is the job. I'm so excited.
I'm in.
This is so easy. I just have to teach my dad how to use like electronics and technology. Done.
Literally. And still to this day, I mean, he does use Spotify, but he has the Apple Nano, the waterproof one. So he puts his little head, and it's the same music back in the day, you would download a song for $1. And his whole Nano, he swims with it still. But now he has learned how to make playlists. Anyway, we're talking too much about him, but that is how I got here. So I did social media for about a year or 2, which kind of expanded into MedWrench and the pub side to grow into more of a digital marketing role. So we included a little bit of webinars, a little podcast we started doing, and then dabbling more into events. So working on graphics for that. And now I'm doing more so like e-news and e-blast. So it really just started as a part-time role, and this company kind of branched it into a big role.
Yeah, no, you've definitely evolved here. And we've been here around the same amount of time, actually. 7 years, 7-year sisters.
7 years.
We're so old, Kennedy.
Yeah, don't start on turning 30 this year. Actually, I'm okay with it, but yeah.
We're okay with it.
We're okay with it. We can't stop it. It's coming.
But
one way or another.
I pray to God he didn't like that prayer, and we're gonna do it.
As long as it's a good one.
Okay. But
Anyway.
Evolving, because you just said your whole role has evolved here. What are some things that you've seen like in social media that you feel like when you first started here 7 years ago, it was like a big deal, us doing these things in social media or in the e-news, whatever you do now, like kind of like what you've seen, how do you feel like it's evolved?
Yeah, so when I first started here, we had the pub and MedWrench Facebook and Twitter accounts.
Right.
And now it's X. And I could see this was 2017, 18. And that's when Twitter was cool. Like that is where you got your live feed updates, not Instagram, not like Substack, none of that. And it started turning in to like Twitter was not cool anymore. So that was one of the first things I came in and I cut it. I'm kidding. I said no more Twitter for MD. But I just said like, why have so many platforms and you can't really like hyperlink it and then it pulls something else, and it just was kind of dying. But my favorite thing we had started to do is OR Today with the nurses. We made them a Pinterest board and a link or an Instagram, and the Instagram blew off. Pinterest, I realized I was just pinning nurse things all day, and I don't know how beneficial that was for anyone.
It was fun.
I don't know. It was fun, like recipes and stuff. But then we were like, okay, you could be actually growing channels. So we had cut Pinterest. We kept OR Today Instagram. We have not done Instagram for ICE or TechNation. Ben C is one, but it's kind of just like his photos. And then that's 2020, 2021, I think is really when LinkedIn popped off.
Yeah.
I think people realized like this is a business network. We still have good engagement on Facebook, but LinkedIn is our main focus right now because I think, and you guys can speak on this, no one wants to follow business accounts on your personal pages. You get annoyed with it when you want to unwind. You don't want to see work. Most people don't want to see work things. So that's where LinkedIn's really good. It's like you open it when you're in work mode, and then you can close it when you're not in work mode. Whereas Facebook can kind of overlap a little.
Yeah, I agree. I think even just like me and being a young professional, you think social media is like we should know everything and we do everything, but it felt even really hard for me to like utilize LinkedIn sometimes as a young professional and like post professional things. But I feel like even in the last 4 years, I'm like, oh, like when you go to shows, taking a picture with your clients and posting it, or just like using social media as a resource to promote your platform, your business, your company has changed in the last few years. And that's why you're seeing like marketing roles grow and develop from like just being social media to marketing as a whole, because they do go hand in hand.
And it's like when you do post those photos, people know who are in those photos. People know what you're talking about. Whereas you did your normal Instagram and your high school sweetheart season, they're like, what is that? They're not gonna, but they have their own network they can do that with, whatever it is. If they're in landscaping, they have their own little landscaping network. And it's what's tailored to you. And you can filter it out more of what businesses you want to follow, how much you want to see of their stuff. You can follow them without getting them on their news. So I love LinkedIn for professionals. And I think it's great for you as an individual as well, because you can keep up to date on like your roles at different companies, where you are. And now I have Mizzou students trying to follow me to learn of what I've done and where I'm at in networking already in college.
That's good. No, that kind of goes into our other question I wanted to ask you was like, how do you feel like young professionals should utilize social media in their career? But I think you both kind of answered that with using LinkedIn would probably be your best sort of platform. But I think it would be also helpful. I feel like it's easy for us to post on social media because we're a media company. So we have a lot of content that we can post about and we have our conferences and that sort of thing. But what if somebody is just, doesn't have it? They just work at a hospital, like one of our biomeds or something. What do you think is something that maybe, what's a good place to start? Like if they want to start posting on their social media?
One, a picture. So many profiles do not have a picture of who you are. And it's sad, but you think about it, like most people don't have a professional headshot. I would say start basic, and like, so when people do look you up, they can put a name to a face. I say put your college, or if you have like a college or a degree or a certificate, put that in there and they can find that based off of you to grow their network. And then just try to make your profile as pretty as possible, because like even if you let it sit there, if people check it out, it's going to be pretty.
Yeah, that's true. Like your cover photo, I used to never like think about that. And now like we can change about to what shows we're going to, like what hospital you work at. I think like you said, putting more information. I get so many requests from people at Georgia Southern now that are in the business school that like just connect with me because they tell you in your college classes now, your network is your net worth. We say that all the time. And so they just like, maybe if someone wants to move to Nashville and they type in business and they type in Georgia Southern, I'm going to pop up and they're able to connect.
Thank you.
I'm like,
thank you.
Here she is. And then I'm like, who is this? I don't know you. I'm just kidding. I'll connect with you.
Tonight.
I'm like, no. But it is like the more information on who you are, I think it does help, because connecting with people just to like grow your network is what social media is about.
Yeah.
Right. I think
you go.
No, I think you were spot on, Kennedy, about posting like your photo or like even pictures. Like if you're at a conference or something and you take like a group photo, or maybe it's a picture of a cool exhibit you saw. I feel like people are really more likely to interact with something like that. The other thing that I saw people doing too is posting a link to maybe a cool article or something like that, like that's happening in your industry. I feel like that could be also something that could start a conversation maybe with someone that is following you or something like that.
And I think that's where Twitter kind of died because everyone was retweeting. No one was really posting their own stuff anymore. So you would go to people's profile and it was just retweet, retweet. When it's like, why would I follow that when I could just follow the main source?
Right.
So it's good here and there. It's good to get the name out, but I think there is a power when you post on your own, as scary as it is, and that you have no filters of who will see it, that it means more when it comes from you.
Yeah.
Well, the last question I have for you, Kennedy, is I want to talk a little bit about YP and MD, our group. Kennedy has been one of the big factors of our growth here. She has been almost basically my counterpart in everything YP at MD. So I wanted you to talk a little bit about our resources that we have for that and why you love YP at MD. What you think of the growth that it's had since we started it back in 2019 at Pickles Pub.
Oh my God, Pickles. God, so many great memories started at Pickles. I think it's funny to look back at, and I remember how you and I were so worried. We were like, we're gonna get 5 people at this event.
Oh yeah.
And there was another event happening at the same bar, and you guys like fought, and you were pulling people in, and we turned out to rent out the whole spot of the side of the bar, like pool and stuff like that. And it was crazy. Like that first event was crazy. And that's when we realized, I think there is like a need for young professional conversation. And
Yes.
I lean more toward, obviously I'm not an HTM or imaging or nurse professional, but I think it's wonderful to have those relationships that you build at shows to go out into the real world. And you already, and I say this with anything like college, like alumni groups or something, just one thing to have in common is such a great starting point, whether that's where you work, where you live, whatever, just to have something in common. And that's what YPMD is. Like you're already there for a show. What did you enjoy about the show? What classes did you like that day? And then that can just branch off, because it's really intimidating as young people in this day and age to just go up to someone and be like, hi, I'm Kennedy. Like well, not for us, but yeah.
For some.
Well, we can talk to a wall, but it can be really intimidating. So when you can at least just have something in common, what a great starting point. So I think that, and then you build off of those shows. And now we've started referencing
so many young professionals.
Like literally friends. That's
Yeah.
what's so great about it too. It's like you walk into the room and you're like, oh my God, there's, all my friends that I made at the networking event last night. And it's nice, like, because it is such a, we're there for a conference and it is work, but it's like then to go grab a drink and just feel like you're chit chatting with a friend, but at the same time you're learning like little nuggets of knowledge about healthcare or about their hospital, or if they're a vendor, just like the newest and latest, greatest thing. And so it's a hybrid of like, okay, well, this isn't as intimidating, and we're gonna grow in our career together. So that's really cool too.
I have a question for you guys. Just caught him. I know. Reverse. What is there a specific moment at one of these events that have stuck out to you and you're like, I wouldn't have learned that without that event? And it could be fun, it could be silly, it could be like I bought this product, or it could be like that was a need in the industry I didn't know about. Does anything stick out to you guys?
I honestly, I feel like anytime I've said this, like to everybody I know, anytime I go to any one of our conferences or any of the industry conferences, I feel like I learn something by just talking to all the people that know so much more about this industry than I do. So one of the things I always recommend to anybody that's younger or, older or whatever age you are, is to talk to the people that know the most in this industry, and you will learn so much. And I feel like that will help you not only like make friends and that sort of thing because you might know more, but I just feel like listening to those people that know who have been in the industry forever.
Megan, that's a great answer, but my answer is that someone taught me to get Bombas socks. And that has changed my life, is Bombas socks.
That's what we were talking about,
Yeah,
like that's great.
so uptight.
Like,
Loose at the time, Megan.
Yeah, I'm way too serious.
Wait, I'm really trying to think
yeah,
now.
I know. I mean, that's great, Megan. Yay, industry, but socks.
No, for sure someone's taught me something like that. Actually, every time I talk to your sister, Sydney, she tells me 3 things I need to buy. If it's special salt to put in my water to drink every morning, or some gas to put in my hair. So yeah, Sydney, she helps me with a lot of things.
Talking about ginger chews.
Oh my God, I love a ginger chew.
those are my favorite thing ever. I eat one every day.
Yeah, there
So
are these are the
amazing.
important things that come out of YP&FT.
This is business. No, I agree. I mean, even I'm thinking about the first one that I went to was in Tampa outside.
Oh,
I think it's
2020. Ooh.
And anything I learned from that was just like, oh, we do have like a community here, because like that was my first show, and I'm like, oh, like wow, I'm kind of the youngest person here by
Oh, you were fresh meat. You were
yeah, fresh me. I'm like looking around, I'm like, whoa. And then we walk into YP and I'm like, wait, this is so fun. There's
Yeah.
so many like we love our OPs too, but like, you know what I mean? It was just fun to have like a little like, especially like being like my first job, like real job out of college. I had like internships and stuff, but I was like, oh, it's cool that we can have this community here.
The worst part is when the hour mark hits and everyone is like still mingling and they're like, you gotta go, you have another event. And I'm like, I don't want to go.
I'm like, no.
You know how many times I've went over to John Krieg and said, can we extend it for 15 more minutes?
But yeah, I think it does need to be at least 2 hours. 1 hour's not enough.
No, because think about it, like you're just getting loose, you're shaking off the conference, you're talking business stuff, and then like when you get to opening up is when you get to know the people.
I'm nibbling for 30 minutes of it on some snacks. So like, y'all know me and some food. I see the tray of food. I'm like, I'll be right back.
Oh,
You hungry? Come to YP. We'll have a drink and a couple snacks for you. But
Typically.
well, that was good, Kennedy. I think that was great information for anybody that is a little hesitant about getting their social media up and running in the career.
like I have another question for you guys. I should run this because I have so many questions. Because I'm very one of my gifts is I can flip things very quickly. So now I want to know, what's your favorite social media platform? Personal or fun?
Well, obviously TikTok for me. Like, let me say something. I'm a TikToker. Not actually. Please, no one follow me on TikTok. I don't actually do anything. I don't. Well, actually, I do my weekly reports.
I love your weekly reports. I love your weekly reports.
I do weekly reports where I do reading, eating, playing, obsessing, recommending, and treat. That's my weekly report.
Yeah.
But TikTok, because I learn so much. It's the only place where I can go where I can learn cooking recipes, something new to buy and wear, and have a giggle about somebody doing something funny. So
TikTok has helped me so much figure out things that are happening in my life. Like, I know that sounds insane, but like if there's like some kind of health issue going on, I go there instead of Google now, because I'm like, you're going to tell me everything I need to know. Don't get me wrong, I still love Google, but TikTok has helped me.
Or even travel. Like Megan's going to Cabo next week. And if you type in best restaurants in Cabo on TikTok, it's going to show you a full video of the vibe, the food, the like everything.
And in 20 seconds, so you don't have to read a whole article. Sorry, I understand we try to get our news traffic up, but it's just so much easier.
I love TikTok.
That's how I found out just like recently, like what shuttle service to use, like to take from the airport to the hotel. And like I found a bomb one, and they'll do like a stop at the liquor store and everything. I was like, this is awesome. And I found it within 5 seconds. Like it was like that.
Hey, what's your favorite?
Oh my God. Okay, well, I didn't think it was TikTok till I accidentally lost TikTok and I didn't know what to do with myself. I was doing like a February cleanse because it's the shortest month, of course. And I deleted TikTok, and that was when it was kind of banned in the US. And I tried to re-download, and they're like, we're sorry, this isn't on the App Store. So I was waiting till I was out of the country again, but it's open again, FYI. Everyone can re-download it.
Panic.
Because Instagram, as great as their algorithm is, it's a lot of extra stuff, and it's just a lot more on there.
I'm seeing more suggested than people I follow, which sometimes I'm in the mood for, but sometimes I'm not. I'm like, get out of my face.
Yeah.
No, for sure. They don't know me like TikTok does.
Whoever's on the other side of that screen on my TikTok algorithm, keep it up. You're crushing it.
They either think you're like a Jake Shane freak or like you're a food. I mean, you
both.
are food.
I have it all. My algorithm has gotten perfect. It's like it gives a little bit of health. It throws in a little horoscope, tons of good food, and then something so funny where I will laugh at it for 20 seconds. I love it. Sorry, love it.
I do. I've been starting to dabble in Pinterest a bit more, and I'm like, wow, there's some good stuff in there.
I use Pinterest more than I used to now.
I know.
All right.
I don't know about Facebook. That one I'm like, it's, you know what Facebook's doing? It's
Mhm.
pulling up old things I used to post, and I don't like it. Like, because there was one time I said, oh my gosh, is it raining? There's a little Lil Wayne, and it was a Lil Wayne. I said, is there a chance of Wayne? Oh, just a Lil Wayne. And it's starting to pull up stuff like that, and I hate it.
No, I don't need to see me in my Bermuda shorts and silly vans.
No.
Cut it.
No. Like
Got
when
it.
that was just like the platform you're like making a grilled cheese sandwich. Yummy.
Yeah.
Or
And-
like, and then do you guys remember, I'm just gonna throw it back real quick, when you would leave videos on your friend's wall?
Yes.
Those are still
With
out
the
in there
edits?
with the edits. And
YOLO for life with a Y.
there was one that came up and I was like hanging clothes. I'm like, hey girl, what's up? Like, and you leave like a 2-minute video message. And I remember you used to replay that like 8 times before you hit post, because you're like, that one cutie's gonna see it.
My crush is gonna see it.
Yeah. So, but that still lives out there, and that's why I don't like Facebook anymore.
Yeah.
Well, Kennedy, we're not done with you because we're going to move on to our this or that segment. So, obviously, know this segment. You've seen us with the other people that we've had on. Kristen, do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I can start.
I'm so excited.
We ease into it.
Yes.
So
Oh my god.
we'll
Okay.
ease into it. Okay. Spring or fall?
Spring.
Okay.
It's because it's like a new season of life and it's fresh, and I love Easter. But spring.
Spring.
I agree. I like spring too. I sometimes think it's better than fall because then after fall it's going to be freaking cold when winter hits, and that's a little depressing.
But I love the fall too. All right, go.
Gluten-free pizza or gluten-free sandwiches?
Kennedy's gluten-free.
Not my choice. Pizza, because you get the cheese. And I can't, if anyone has a recommendation for a good gluten-free bread that doesn't taste like air and dryness, please contact me.
drop
the link in the bio.
Okay. NFL or college football?
Oh, this one's tough. College, because you have your team. Go Tigers. NFL is just more of like a Sunday NFL doors open kind of lay back day. But I'd have to go college.
Okay, then this one might be easy then. Packers or Mizzou?
No.
Oh, MIT.
No, that is my home.
Okay.
I love my Tigers.
Okay, well, we kind of touched on this one, but I'm still gonna ask. Instagram or TikTok?
I think TikTok now.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't a TikToker till COVID, and then everyone was like, you shouldn't get it, it's fine. And then you get it and it changes your world.
Your life. I agree. I was an avid Instagrammer, millennial, Kennedy millennial, okay? And now TikTok.
I was gonna say.
No, TikTok. I'm on the bandwagon. Emily and Kristen Register, they got me on it.
TikTok, I think. But Instagram's fun because you can post like all your old memories. And I think there's a beauty in age with Instagram is that you don't care as much. It's like, it's not just the one photo you look at it. It's like a dump. Like I just did my winter dump and I was like, because I'm not good on the spot. And I'm like, wait, I had a good moment December, January, February, like put them all together.
Yeah. I'm still, don't get me wrong. In terms of posting, Instagram. I post on Instagram probably every single week, whether it's on my story or a picture. Like I use Instagram for posting, but TikTok is my leisure. Like I like to scroll.
It's the best outlet.
Doom scroll.
Country music or 90s R&B?
Country. Specifically 90s country.
Ooh.
Tim McGraw 90s? Are you kidding me? Get out of here.
That's a good one. Oh, I thought that one might trick you with the Nelly.
I'm pretty fast.
You are really fast at this, which is good, this is our last one. Okay. Who is easier to work with, Sydney or John Krieg?
Sydney.
No hesitation on that one.
Who's your best friend in this company? Sydney. Who's easier to work with? Sydney. Sydney is the beautiful definition of a hard worker and a gal pal. And she has this calming essence around John Krieg that I don't have. And there's something about when she talks, everyone kind of listens.
I knew you were going to say Sydney, but I was like, this is going to be funny just to see it. I was like when we did it with John, obviously that's a way harder choice for him to make, but, and he wouldn't do it. I said,
Yeah.
depends on the day, like Chris Jenner says. I always.
Who do I go for more like advice? John Krieg. Who's like your day-to-day gal pal? Sydney Krieg. I would not put
Compromise.
John Krieg as a gal pal. And
Yeah.
it's okay. He's my boss.
Sometimes he comes in and he's a girly swirly with us.
I do feel like he likes a good gossip session, but I don't know if I want to gossip about everything that I want to gossip with him about.
No, we're his outlet.
Should you tell him my favorite quote from you about gossip? About being private?
Oh. Private means I'll tell you later.
Yeah.
That's what
I say.
That was so funny. Kennedy went to go have a private conversation, and I think Sydney maybe was like, well, I want to know. And she goes, it's private. And private means I'll tell you later. I'm like, that's awesome.
That, and I don't believe anything unless it comes from TMZ.
True.
Like, that is the source, man.
The source.
Yeah. But I love a good gossip session, too. Guilty?
Well, Kennedy, thank you so much for being on. This was so fun. I'm glad we finally got you on here to talk all things social media and YP and all the fun things that we like to talk to not on the podcast.
As I say, yeah, we finally, this is who makes our podcast look good.
See, yeah. I'm good on both sides.
Yep. B-Hawk will listen and he will agree.
Wasn't B-Hawk the one he was like, man, who edits that? And we're like,
Kennedy.
Yeah.
Use your girl.
We have a YP party at MD Expo, SoCal.
Yeah, so I was just going to talk about our announcements real quickly before we leave. So we are going to MD Expo in April in Temecula again at Pachanga. So if you've been there the first time, we are going back. It's such a great location, but we're also going to have a YP at MD party again, sponsored by our besties, Prescott's. You might know them as Adepto or Bio, but now Prescott's. So they are going to be sponsoring. It's going to be on, I think, oh gosh, I forget the date, but I'm going to put it in the bio. We're going to also have a link for you guys to RSVP too, so we might have that ready to put in the bio as well. So if you will be attending MD Expo, make sure you go ahead and register just so we know that you're going to be coming. You can also get on our YPE newsletter that way too. So yes, it's going to be at MD Expo. It's going to be, I don't know if you've been there before. Do you guys remember that one bar that was in the middle of the casino and it had like an upstairs, downstairs?
Yes.
I loved that bar.
Called like the round bar. I don't know. I have to double check with Kristen Lavoie, but if you've been there, you know exactly that.
So do all the O people will they look over us?
Yeah, they'll stand up there for sure.
Like,
they're just gonna throw things, throw straws at us the whole time.
Yeah.
So that will be fun because we didn't really have a YP party at our last show. We had like the big, if you were there, you saw our big concert that we had with everybody on the lawn, and we kind of were supposed to have like a YP VIP area, but everybody kind of joined in on it. So this is like our actual YP party at MD Expo SoCal.
Was that when Prescott's gave out the blankets and the bucket hats?
Oh, those are cool. Those are really good.
They've got great swag.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be really exciting, guys, but we'll put all the information in the description. We'll also put where you can find Kennedy if you're not friends with her on her social media too. So make sure you go ahead and connect with her. But I think that's all I got for you guys. So we will be back in April. I can't believe it's already March, but we'll be back in April with